With Sentinels winning the NA Masters, they have undisputedly earned the right to call themselves the best team in North America.
He's looking to do it in style. Marv, 2 HP left. Here comes a dagger with his name on it, but it's going to be Sick who's going to get it done. And that's a wrap. 3-0 Grand Final. Sentinels are the champions.
When looking over the stats from Masters, one of the most interesting facts to come out was that Sentinels had an amazing win rate on the defense of Ascent. They took 8 rounds off Luminosity, 10 rounds off 100 Thieves, and 9 rounds off of FaZe in the finals. While Ascent is slightly favored to the defense, and a large part of Sentinel's success comes from the sheer firepower of the squad, it would be unrealistic to say their wins came strictly off their aim. There has to be something more to how the Sentinels are playing to have such an insane conversion rate against some of the best teams in North America.
From watching all the teams and prepping that we play, they're definitely tactically a lot weaker. Just really, really talented players that are able to get away with that. So it is scary for teams that don't have a game plan versus that. But when you understand the how it's kind of simple the way they approach rounds, then you can really set up for it.
When you watch Sentinels play on Ascent, a few things jump out. First, they set up their duelists to punish early aggressions.
They do have the ultimates. I was surprised to not see Moose kind of fire that one off as they were coming up. TenZ now Bladestorm for himself as he plays this one strong with another one for Sentinels.
Once the aggression has been punished, they immediately shift into a safer style of play as to not give up the man advantage. This stands in stark contrast to a team like FaZe who tries to push every edge when they get an advantage.
A couple of shots rattled off there. FaZe must be cautious. Corey is trying to back away, but Baby Bay got a quite good elevation here, so they can kind of double peek this. Almost a bait.
They're not
Let's see if it works
falling,
out for them. Here comes the first swing, and if all these 3 players want to swing at the same time, there's that Marshall from TenZ at distance.
Instead, Sentinels wait for the attackers to commit to one of the bomb sites and delay with utility while the rotate comes in. From here, they win the fight while the attackers are still trying to get onto the site. Let's take a look at a few defensive rounds from the NA Masters event and see just how the Sentinels were so dominant on the defensive end of Ascent.
Cool, let's go.
The first round we'll look at comes from their quarterfinal match versus Luminosity. It's round 4 and both teams are on full buys. Right off the rip, we see 3 aggressive plays on the map. You have Zombs on Omen putting up a one-way smoke on long A and taking a peek. You have TenZ on Jet sneaking a quick peek into tiles from Catwalk. And you have Sick on Phoenix, burning his ult and pushing out B main behind Shazam's drone. Zombs gets spotted with a recon dart and has to pull back. TenZ gets smoked off and also has to fall back. Sick and Shazam manage to get Luminosity's Cypher and Omen down to half, but choose to play conservatively and fall back to play the B site. So the Sentinels know that Luminosity are running some kind of default this round, with presence at B, mid, and A. Let's take a look at the map here and see just how defensive the Sentinels are set up. They have 0 presence mid. You have Sick and Shazam holding down the B site in very defensive position, limiting the angles they can get peeked from. You have Zombs and Dapper covering tree, and you have TenZ who is jiggling A main. TenZ finds Thief and hits a nice shot to take him out of the round. This prompts Luminosity to regroup towards B and try to split the site. When the hit finally comes in, Luminosity are delayed by a nice one-way Cypher trap that buys time for a rotation. Notice how Sick and Shazam play the B site. Sick just hangs out on the steps, only peeking with utility, not giving up anything for free. Shazam just sits back in Boathouse, jiggling the angle, putting out shock darts to delay the alley push. By the time Luminosity are pushing through alley, the entire Sentinels team have rotated and are dumping all their abilities and taking fights. Sentinels cleanly win the round thanks to their safe, smart playstyle.
To light things up, a beautiful round, a flawless one at that, from the boys over at Sentinels.
And they didn't just do this versus Luminosity. We can see the same principles across their matches versus 100 Thieves and FaZe. Let's take a look at a round from map 1 of the finals versus FaZe. It's round 19 and both teams are on a pretty decent buy. At the start of the round, we see similar peaks to what we saw in the Luminosity game. You've got Zombs doing the one-way smoke at long A, Sick peeking B, and TenZ is playing pizza rather than peeking out of Cat. At B main, Sick and Shazam trade shots with Zachary, but neither side finds any real damage. However, over on A, Zombs and Dapper find a pick onto Corey thanks to that one-way smoke. This allows Dapper to sneak a neat little cam up deep in long A.
Take out Cypher's cameras.
Raka spots the cam and takes it out.
One of my cameras is broken.
And this prompts Dapper and Zombs to fall back and play extremely passive angles on the A site. Knowing that they've just shown some presence at A, Raucus and Marved fall off of A and regroup with Zachary outside of B. While this is going on, Baby Bay has crept up catwalk and is looking for a pick to even up the round. He's in the perfect position to punish any potential rotates to A and sell a fake. But the thing is, Zombs and Dapper are playing so far back that Baby Bay just can't find anything. He's the catalyst for FaZe in the round. Once he can find a pick, the rest of the FaZe team will activate, but because Sentinels are playing so passive, the aggressive style FaZe are known for just can't get going. Eventually, Raucus pops his Hunter's Fury and finds TenZ at Pizza. Thankfully, Sick had rotated to Market and finds a trade onto Marved. Unfortunately for FaZe, they've waited so long that there are only 15 seconds left in the round, and Raucus has the bomb at Tiles. They've spent so much time trying to find some kind of opening that they're out of time. Sentinel's super safe play completely shut down FaZe's hyper-aggression.
FaZe have outplayed themselves. They haven't left themselves enough time, and that's a big deal, Sean. It's 9-10 now for Sentinels as they only trail 1 round behind.
When watching these rounds, you can really see how Sentinels are playing such a safe, solid defense. They take a small risk at the start of the round to get an edge, and then just sit back, waiting for the attackers to try and find an opening. And since they're not burning utility trying to find more information or another pick in the mid-round, they have all the abilities they need to buy time for a rotation when the hit finally comes in. So the next time you watch Sentinels play, keep an eye out for how they play on defense. It might not be the most exciting style of play with crazy peaks and aggressive pushes, but it's solid and it's smart. And it's hard as hell to play against. And if nobody can figure out a way to punish it, expect to see Sentinels on top of NA for a long time. Thanks for watching. For more gaming related content, subscribe to the Esports YouTube channel to stay up to date.